Good morning, this is Mojisola Wilson. It's Authentic Conversations with Moji. How are you? Let's see. It's been a while. I've been on the road a whole lot. And today I'm actually in California. I think it's about 5:30 my time here, which is usually 7:30 back home. Let's see. I wanted to make a live chat. I wanted us to discuss the events that's been happening out there lately. I saw a video, like I said, I'm in California. I was in Washington, D.C. last week. A few days from now, I'm going to be someplace else because life is happening, and I'm very grateful that the universe continues to bless me and my family, and hopefully yours as well. So I wanted to talk about the event that happened a few days ago. I believe it happened in the UK, where a young girl was very rude and condescending and abusive towards an older woman. And yes, the woman should never have laid hands on her, but I think we need to start to talk about the way we're raising our children. This European way of raising our children is going to be the end of the Nigerian culture. Nigerian culture is built on respect, compassion, empathy, and consideration. And for some reason now, it no longer counts. It doesn't matter who you are, you're not going to get the respect from people, unless even when you're giving them money, when you're trying to pay their tuition, when you're trying to send them to school, when you're trying to get them out of the country. The sense of entitlement we're raising our children with these days makes no sense. So I saw a video of this woman, and I didn't get the whole video. I got the video 2 days ago. I wasn't going to touch it, but then I found out that the woman got arrested. Let me tell you something. If it was me, I don't know if I wouldn't have slapped that kid either. Because I've been on stages where young Nigerian people act like they know everything, and yet they'll be in your inbox begging you for money. They'll abuse you on stages, they'll say all kinds of stuff, but then what do you expect when that's how they treat their parents? If they treat their parents like garbage at home, and their parents are not checking them, their parents are not giving them the proper tools, their parents are not telling them the truth, what then do we expect? The truth is that we really need to start to do better as human beings, as parents. We have to start showing our children the right things. We have to start telling them and showing them the right things from jump. We can't wait for them to become teenagers when we start speaking about how we want them to do this. You can't tell your children to do something that you yourself are not. Half of you guys spend time gossiping about other people. You talk about your friends. You tell your friends secrets to your children. You have turned your children into your partners. It's called emotional incest, where everything you do, you talk to your children about it. The children have no boundaries. They don't know how to talk to us because we never taught them how to talk to us. So when they go outside, they do the exact same thing. And I'm not saying the woman should have hit her. No. I don't care if you're in Nigeria, but let me tell you something. There's a lot that a little conk on the head will reset your brain. Gbogbo owó tẹ́ ẹ ná lórí child, lórí kí ló ń pè kíní yẹn, therapy and all that stuff. A lot of it absolutely has nothing to do with emotional abuse or trauma or all of that. Everything is now blamed on colonial masters' way. Colonial masters are the ones that taught your children not to speak properly, not to respect their elders, not to respect themselves. No, you did. See, we have to start to take accountability for our lives and the choices that we made. While Nigerians, you're trying so hard to become Europeanized, so hard to be European. You forgot your culture. You forgot to teach your children your culture of respecting the adults. When they say kneel down to greet an adult, it's to humble you, not to dehumanize you. It's to humble you. And what I find in our communities lately as Nigerians and Africans, it's disgraceful, it's disgusting, it's going to be the death of us. Because instead of you guys, us, not you guys, me too, guilty. Instead of us training our children, we want to do Oyibo stuff. We want to be European. We want to be Europeanized. So we let all this wanna in it, because from the way a person speaks, you can really tell what type of home they're from. The way they act outside, you can tell what type of home they're from. The Chinese people, look at how respectful they are. Look at how well and fast their communities are growing. And we are sitting here complaining and whining about what the white man has done and hasn't done, instead of taking the bull by the head and doing what we need to do. I see you, Angela. We need to start to do better. We have to start to raise our children with home training. Half the kids I talk to on Clubhouse, they're disrespectful, they're rude, they're condescending, they're just bullies. Makes me wonder what they do to their parents at home. And what happens is that adults start to, because honestly, nobody wants anybody to abuse them. I am not engaging with Nigerian LGBTQs anymore. I really am not, because I don't see why I should put myself in the line of danger and abuse. Like, this woman shouldn't have just, in my opinion, you let everybody's child go. One day they'll meet their menaces. One day they'll get in trouble, they'll be arrested. Now the woman that tried to speak to that other person's child is the one in trouble. I heard she got arrested. It broke my heart. Because a lot of parents are not doing the right things. A lot of parents are not training their children how to become productive adults. And when they can't get a job, work, some don't. But I'm telling you, majority of them don't work. Chinese people raise their children like they live in China. Spanish people come to America and they raise their children like they live in China. And they're doing very well. They're all successful. They're having babies. They're building houses. They're buying houses. They're building businesses. Our children are still complaining about colonial masters. Everything is blamed on colonial masters. Gay people in Nigeria are blaming people on colonial masters, like the colonial masters that people are shouting about and talking about. Colonial masters did nothing to you. Colonial masters are not your problem. Yes, there's going to be discrimination, there's going to be racism, there's going to be colorism. But if you don't teach your children how to deal in the real world, this false reality that all of us are trying to reside in, it's going to be what destroys us as a people, because people are afraid to tell the truth. We can no longer stop telling the truth because we're trying to make a generation happy. We're destroying the world by not telling the truth, by not living in truth. Everybody's expected to live in a false reality and lie to make a small percentage of people comfortable. There's nothing like race comes into compassion, empathy, respect. Sexuality does not apply when we're talking about compassion, respect, integrity, and empathy. It has no sexuality, it has no gender, it has nothing. But yet we continue to spread this rhetoric. Our children are becoming worse and worse every day. They lack manners, they lack grit, because they've never been taught to work for anything, because we just give them everything. Because that's what the white people do. No, they don't. White people make their kids go out and get a job at the age of 14, 15. I've been in America for over 45 years. 14, 15, their children are working. And most people that are rich, their children start in the mailroom. You don't graduate college or high school and then they make you the vice president of your father's company. No, you work from the bottom ground up. We're not doing that. And then when these kids get older, you leave them all this money. They don't know what to do with it because they've never worked for it. That's why I don't believe in generational wealth. While I'm alive, my child or children will get what I believe they can handle, and the rest of my money goes to charity. Sue me, shoot me, not my problem. It's my money, I worked for it. My father had money, he never left me a penny. What he gave me was education. And I know that education is a passport to our freedom. When you go to a Nigerian and you say, oh, a Nigerian youth, I've been doing this thing since 2009. Majority, out of 100, I think it's only about maybe 10 that was willing to put in the work. You have people that are willing to pay your tuition. You have people that are willing to help you pay while you go to school. Pay your tuition, pay your housing, pay your cell phone, buy you food. But you just want money in your hand. In the meantime, I'm working 18, 19 hours a day. How are we raising our children? How? And then they will abuse me because I'm telling them don't be naked on social media. In case, God willing, you become successful and you are expected, you want a job in a corporate setting, or you want to be the president of Nigeria or the president of America, or whatever the case is. When they Google your name, you should not have naked pictures on your profile. They drag me, they drag my family, they drag everybody because we're trying to tell them the truth. People want to live in lies. Respecting yourself and adults is not a crime. It's not abuse. It's home training, because when you get a job, you have to respect your boss. When you get a job, you have to show up on time. When you get a job, you have to do what your boss tells you. But people don't want the truth anymore. People want to live in a false reality. Most people are now sounding like echo chambers because people are afraid to speak the truth. It used to be that in the olden days, when you did something down the block in Nigeria, your parents, by the time your parents hear what happened, 3 or 4 adults already checked you on the way home. They didn't always hit you, but they checked you. Now nobody wants to get involved. Black people, we are cursed. I repeat, black people, we are cursed. Nigerians, more so than ever. Because this new European style of raising children or training children, it's not going to work. The reason why we come out of the country and make it is because we have the grit. We know how to be humble. No matter how rich your parents are, you know how to be humble when you step outside the country. That's why when we go to America or we go to the UK, anywhere we go, we are successful. But the children we're raising in these countries, we're raising with absolutely no home training. They disrespect us at home, we let them out. And then they go and disrespect other people outside. And instead of you to check your child, you start blaming everybody. Not you, not your child. Accountability is what we are lacking. And eventually, it's going to destroy us as a people. I weep for the next generations. They are uncouth. They have no grit. They lack respect. They lack compassion. And they lack empathy. And they're loud as hell. Empty barrels make the most noise. Check yourselves, people. We're destroying the world. We are. We're destroying our people. We really are. It's a very sad thing. My name is Mojisola Wilson.